Hey, and welcome back to the Road to the Great Canadian Open. My name is Clarence, and this is my video series as you follow me as I paint up my Brotherhood Without Banners army, 1 hour a day, 1 day at a time. But of course, our army is now done. You can follow the series, and I'm just waiting for my buddy Andy to bring me some 3D printed activation markers. That'll be the last painting piece. But until that happens, there'll be no videos unless I play games, and I do play games, and I've got a battle report for you guys today. So today we are practicing. I'm playing against my buddy Jay, and we're practicing for the ELO Handicap event happening next week. So I thought I'd talk about ELO Handicap a little bit. So the way it works is in a normal tournament, when you win, you score 3 tournament points for winning, 2 for getting a draw, and 1 for losing. But in ELO Handicap, you're actually encouraged to bring lower rank commanders because they will score you more points. So as an example, I'm going to be bringing Howland Reed. And Howland, oopsies, is over here. Well, how do you find out, first of all? So let's go down to Commander ELO rankings, and we'll go to Starks. So right now, Rob Stark's ahead. I have to tell you, I haven't looked at these in a while. I'm surprised Rob Stark's ahead. Traditionally, he's not been high ranked, but I can see why. I've always liked Rob. Rob's got some really tricky maneuvering cards. So he gives you options if your landscape get tied down with hit and run and sudden retreat. Just a side note. So for Starks, I'm taking Howland Reed and Greatjohn Umber because they're both very low ranked. But I think they're both actually very good commanders. Howland in particular, I think, is kind of a diamond in the rough. We've got some very tricky back-breaking cards. Even if you know that they're coming, for example, Bog Devil Ambush and Cranarch Traps, it's hard to sometimes play around them because it's literally like I activate, well, I have Bog Devil Ambush, I've got Bastard Girls unactivated, I'm going to shoot you and charge you. You can't stop that unless you've got counterplot or something like that. Greatjohn Number, of course, has seen a decline since Berserker Tactics got changed, but I still think in theory, Landscav with Berserker Tactics getting Critical Blow sounds really good too. So, I think he's got more value than being on the bottom of the rankings. So that's how you can tell how low rank your commanders are. And when you plug in that commander, you can see what will happen for the tournament. So, for example, Howland into sort of anybody, if he wins, because he's not as likely to win, will get you slightly more points for winning. And if we compare against a really good commander, so Greyjoys are on top right now. We take Greyjoys and take Victarion, who I'm sure is the best commander. You can see that my percentage drops 10 points to 34%, and now I'm going to earn even more points. So I get 4.2 for winning, and I even get 1.4 for losing. So I get like essentially more or less 0.4 points more. And Victarion, on the other hand, doesn't get 3 for winning, but gets 2.1. He gets roughly two-thirds of the points. So, again, it's encouraging you to take more good commanders. It's encouraging you to take low-ranked commanders and discouraging you from taking high-ranked commanders. Now, that may not stop you. Some players like myself, I'm taking 2 low-ranked commanders, but I've heard people say, well, I'll take 1 low, 1 high, and depending on who I play against, I'll choose which one I'm going to use. So there's definitely ways that people can try to game the system. I think that's it for... Oh, so what did Jay actually use today? So Jay used Martells, and he ran with Doran Martell. So you can see that Howland's a little more low-ranked, so I'm still going to earn some points, and he won't earn as many, but it's pretty close to 50-50, right? Now, let's look at the actual game. So the actual game... as I mentioned, Jay took Doran Martell in Golden Company Swordsman. He's got Edric Dane for Dauntless, and he's got Quentin Martell for the option to outflank. He's got Outriders here for the Rally Cry and Critical Blow. He's got the Skyrich Bowman with the High Hermitage Sentinel for the extra pivot and march. He's got Landscav here as well. So it's a very, very fast list, especially when you combine Tactics board plays as well. His NCUs, of course, were Doran, because he has to, because of Erihota. He took Alaria, which is a staple, and he took Tayin for the Strangler Poison. I took my Howland list, as mentioned. I just think Howland plays better into Martells because he punishes them for moving, and I don't rely on combat but on chip damage and shooting and that kind of stuff. So I took Commander Howland in Archers. I took this is my premium unit here. This is my Bastard Girls of Mira and a Crowning Man Survivalist. This unit is just very explosive with the charging volley and can do a lot of damage. And with Bog Devil Ambush and Arya tokens, it's just very, very powerful piece. I took Crowning Man as well with Rickon, Osha, and the Survivalist. This unit, I do love them. I just wonder if I've got too little. I mean, I can't change my list. I've already published my list. I'm going to use that list. But in hindsight, this unit is very squishy. Do I really need the extra traps, or could this be swords? Right? Anyway, it is what it is. Shaggy Dog's back here, and I got Outriders with Brennan Tully. He gives me Mark Target for vulnerable tokens and the option to outflank also. I took Sansa, Arya, and Hand of the King Eddard. So we're playing Hone and Ready, which is 5 objectives. If you control the ones on the flank, you can get shot by arrows either at the end of the round, starting round 2, or if an enemy NCU replaces the zone. So because both our lists are fairly squishy, I've got 3 units with 6-up saves and 2 units with 4-up saves, and the dog only has 4 wounds, could easily just die. We're both not very incentivized to grab the ones on the flank. Jay have 6-up saves, they have 5-up saves, and both these only have 4-up saves. So, we don't expect to grab the ones on the flank. And whenever someone does, if they have a 4-up save even, I always try and punish them by changing the zone to get more shots in. So let's go to end of round 1. So end of round 1, so Jay made a very interesting point at the end of the game. We always talk about our games afterwards, which is why I love playing against Jay. We always analyze our games after. He said that he didn't like how I put my Archers and my Crowning Men on the flank here because he knew I was going to just try and post up behind the stakes, which is what I definitely wanted to do. So he just started swerving his whole army away from the stakes. And I tried to push up aggressively with the Crown Dogs. Unfortunately, Marching 12 put me on the token, so I had to stop just short, which kept them further back than I wanted. Because he went super aggressive with his knights, the reason why he did that is because I moved my dog to the far right, and he went dog hunting essentially. I started swerving my army to the left. So you can see how we positioned, and I put Eddard onto the Skyreach Bowman. He played Sand Diplomacy, and I didn't want them getting a weird shot off. In hindsight, it would have been better to put him on the Swordsman because the Swordsman can march with Doran Martell. And he's now very aggressively positioned. So that's the end of round 1. Moving on to round 2. Round 2, he drops the poison on the horse, and his rationale was his army is so fast. He's got 2 cav units. He's got pivot and march with the archers, and he's got Doran Martell who can let the swordsman pivot and march also. So by controlling the horse, he felt like he would just really, really emphasize his speed advantage. And I think that makes a lot of sense. He said that in our game, it wasn't as good because I have Arya tokens, which also give me extra maneuvering. And because of Hand of the King Eddard, I can prevent certain units, key units, from getting an extra maneuver or a march if it's Arihota's unit, for example. So interesting play on Jay's part here, but good rationale. The sword obviously is a very common choice, but in this matchup or in this list, it does make sense to take the horse. So end of round 2, we had some action happen. I think he used the horse to position his knights in a way they could charge my cav or the dog. And I, in response, moved my Kranigman within range. Now, so again, I'm questioning if I like this unit or not. Their value came in right here. By extending how many Kranag units I have, when his knights activated and went to charge, I played Kranag Traps Dry Drawn, which meant that he's going through difficult terrain. Now, he didn't want to just sit there, so he decided to go through with it, but he forgot that a charge is 2 actions. It's a free maneuver, which he did use, and the charge itself. So he took 6 wounds on the way in from the Kranag Traps, which is pretty brutal. And it made it -1, where he was automatically in. The Kranag Traps made him roll a 3-up. And I said to him after the game, I think it was a mistake to do that, because if he failed that 3-up charge, I would get to charge him with Shaggy and the Outriders, and he would just lose that unit for free. He made the charge, however. He barely killed Shaggy. In response, my Outriders with the marked target got lucky and killed him back. It's not likely for me to kill him because I have 7 attacks hitting on 4s. He's got a 4-up save, even with a vulnerable token and no other cards. I'm unlikely to do 6 wounds. He's probably going to pass panic, but he just rolled unlucky and failed all 6 saves with the vulnerable token reroll, of course. So I got really lucky there, but honestly, like if I hadn't killed him, I was going first next round anyway, and I was going to take the sword and hopefully finish him off. So that was my plan. I just got lucky that it kicked in 1 round earlier. So you can see that everything else on his side more or less pushed to the right. I pushed my Bastards forward. I'm so far away from his army. He knows this is my best unit, so he did really, really good job of kind of keeping them out of the game, and everything else is just kind of like circling away. Now this unit here was kind of trapped in the corner, and he's trying to pin them in. I tactically positioned forward because I thought I had a chance to threaten his archers. Now, I had double assault orders in my hand, but unfortunately they were not useful because if you see the positioning right now, if I move straight forward, oopsies, if I move straight forward, I'm actually going to hit his swordsman first. I would have loved to have been able to assault order into his archers, but I was just not in a position to do it. If I'd drawn a sword-free position, maybe no, because I'm still directly in front of the swordsman. So that was a mistake on my part. I had double assault orders in my hand, which is normally a Stark's Dream, but they were actually dead cards, and I held onto them. So that's a big mistake on my part. So we end up scoring 1 point each, actually. It should be 1 point each at this point. It says 0-0, but it should be 1 point each. Okay, so round 3, a lot of action happens. So I decide to charge in with my Cav, and I have ambush, so I drop the rainbow. I think I killed a decent amount of guys, like maybe 5. He passed panic and used Unbent on me. And then I used my last Arya token to push my archers forward, my Bastards forward, and I was now in a position to shoot his archers and charge his archers as well. So I thought I was in a really good spot. I killed his knights. I traded only a dog for it. I'm pincering his archers, and I don't know what play is good for him. Does he retreat with the horse? I can still take the sword and shoot. Does he take the sword? Then I'll just activate and shoot before he takes the bag. So I thought it was a really good position. And then Jay, I think, made the game-winning play here, spoiler alert, which is he took the crown with our Dorn Mortel, and then he marched this unit to block my Bastard Girls. And I was like, okay, well, I'll still deal damage to you. I had some traps which did some damage. I took the sword, shot and went in, did my full combo, but unfortunately attacking in the front was just not nearly as good as obviously a flank. So at the end of the day, I did kill wounds, but because he took the crown, he's healing 3, he healed pretty much everything back, and I think maybe a bag also kicked in as well. So he just blunted my best unit, which is really, really great on his part to like see the block, because I really thought his archers were in deep trouble. They charged in the flank, did some more healing. With Unbent, he started pushing through panic damage. Both my units pushed up to just try and be relevant and play a role. And then this unit, very cleverly, he took the horse, I believe, to retreat. And then because it can pivot and marched away from here. So at the end of the round, he's also scoring this objective. We each killed a unit. It is now 2-1. And I'm not feeling good anymore because my archers are really not doing too much. Shooting into here does not do anything because they heal 3. These guys were too far out of range in the beginning to make a difference. And yeah, just not looking good. So round 3 ends and round 4 happens. So what happened, it was actually pretty wild. He led, what did he lead with? He did not lead with a sword. He did lead with a sword. I lied. He led with the sword and attacked my Cav, and I think he killed them with the Unbent, giving the extra -2, and he healed some of his archers. I took the horse and retreated out of combat, and then Jay debated what to do. He was thinking about using Doran to again block me from charging his archers, and we measured, and with the shift and a shoot, I could not get to his flank. But if I had 3 for reposition, I could. So he said, okay, I'd rather not do that. I'd rather activate my archers instead. And then I played Bog Devil Ambush, which is a big gotcha, and I do feel bad. We had talked about it last game, like the whole point of this list is to gotcha you with Bog Devil Ambush, and I explained to him how it worked. But last game, that card didn't do anything, and the card that did do things was Chronic Traps. And in this game, Chronic Traps also made a big difference. So when I played Bog Devil Ambush, he was like, oh, so now I get to shoot and charge me with the Bastard Girls. And I felt really bad because, like, it's a gotcha, and I don't like to gotcha my opponent, but that's literally what the card does. The card literally gotchas you. When you activate, I shoot and charge you. So it is what it is. So they shot, charge, and killed the archers, and all of a sudden I'm back in the game, right? I've lost 2 units. He's lost 2 units as well. His cav then ended up charging my Kranog men, who had taken, I think, 1 or 2 wounds from something random, and he rolled an insane dice roll. He got 11 hits, hitting on 4 as a crit blow, and he just popped the whole unit, which is brutal. So now he's up 3 kills and holding the objective twice on this round here, and I just backed up my archers to not get killed. So it's looking really grim, and we talked about even calling it, but I said, you know what? I know that I'm going to come into your flank here, and I might kill you, so we'll see how the game plays out. Because if I have 2 units to your 1, I might be able to beat you on objectives. So round 5 rolls around, and I do lead, and I do shoot and charge the Outriders. I don't kill them, but they're crippled to a point that Jay does not want to heal them. I end up activating killing them, and then we have this game of math to figure out, because if Jay sits on the middle, he will score 2 more points and go up to 7. With the kill, I go up to 3. If I take the flank objectives, I go up to 5, go up to 7 to end the game, and I win on points at the table. So Jay forced my hand by pushing towards the archers, and I end up using their activation to position them behind the stakes. I could have taken the sword, but because Arya had died due to the Strangler, I only had 2 NCUs left, and I really wanted the option to have Sansa play assault orders. So I moved here with their activation with the intent to maybe back up with the horse. He took the horse instead and was not able to cover the middle. After I'd killed his Outriders, I came back towards the middle to try and I just mathed it that if he charged Howland, I had a chance to lose. So I had to come towards and help Howland. That's what kind of happened. So we're in this position here where it's actually a very close game, right? Even though he's ahead in points, because he only has 1 unit, he can only do so many things. So entering round 6, what ended up happening is I had to essentially hold 2 objectives to get back to 5, or I had to kill him. So all he had to do was stop me from holding 2 objectives. And that's what he ended up doing. He just blocked the middle, and then it doesn't really matter, but I shot him in the flank. I had a weaken token. Jay had been very patient with this weaken token all game. Used it here, and I ended up rolling 0 for 7 hits on rolling on 3s with the weaken token, which meant he healed, and that meant that it was pretty much impossible for me to charge and kill him. There is an outside chance if he fails both panic tests, so I went for it. But when I activated, he played the whole shebang of rising temperatures and spear positioning, so I only charge on a 6. I can't play tactics cards, blah, 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 blah. I don't kill him. So he's going to hold the middle. I didn't even realize something. I guess if I had killed a rank, I would have stopped him, and it would have been... Was it 5-4? Oh, yeah, it would have been... It should be 6-4. Never mind. It should be 6-4. Yeah, it should be 6-4. Yeah. 6-4 or 6-5? 6-4. Yes. It's 6-4. No, he's not on it. That's right. He's not on the middle point. It is 5-4. So yeah, I was going to say that if I had more ranks than him, I would have contested, but there was no objective to contest. He was not on it. So it was a very good game. So I think we talked about it already, but Jay, we always ask ourselves, what could we have done better? I said, I think that charging the Cav was a mistake. If he fails that 3-up roll, he just loses. I kill the Cav for free between Shaggy and the Outriders. I'm able to now threaten his flank with just a dog instead of using the Outriders. I think he was also very brilliant to reposition his whole army away from the stakes. And I've done that too. When people use palisades or stakes against me, if there's only one off center like this, well, then I can just avoid that half of the board, right? It's way different when the palisade's in the middle and you can't really avoid archers behind the palisade. So he was very wise to just redeploy. But I think the game-winning play in his part again was that pivot and march with Doran or with Ariahota to block my bastard doors. That was just really, really smart play in his part to see where the threat was coming. And it sucked because I had used 2 Arya tokens to get them in that position. So I burned 2 resources just to hit his best unit in the front. Up to that point, I felt I'd done a good job of avoiding that unit. I was hoping just to pick off everything else. But yeah, that unit with Dauntless, double Dauntless essentially, is just brutal because you shoot into combat and they'll heal 2 or 3 wounds from their own shooting, which is pretty rough. So it was a great game, folks. Hope you enjoyed that, and we'll wait until we get those activation markers. And until then, you may see another game or two. So thanks for watching. Keep the faith. Hopefully you're painting as well. Hopefully keeping it up, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.